Have you ever pondered about the laws that govern other countries, especially those with a radically different judicial system than ours? Welcome to a journey that takes us across the globe, to a land steeped in rich history and culture, China. We're here to explore a topic that is both controversial and intriguing, the crimes that can lead to capital punishment in China. We're not here to judge, but to understand and learn. So buckle up. Today we dive into the laws of China, particularly those that could lead to the ultimate punishment, execution. To understand the gravity of crimes that lead to execution in China, we first need to grasp the basics of the Chinese judicial system. China's judicial system has a unique structure, vastly different from the Western models we might be more familiar with. It's divided into three main components: the courts, the procuratorates, and the public security organs. The courts act as the primary judicial branch handling criminal, civil, and administrative cases. The procuratorates, on the other hand, serve as the investigative and prosecutorial branch, while the public security organs, including the police, maintain law and order. The courts in China play a significant role. They're responsible for interpreting the law and ensuring justice is served. The hierarchy of courts starts from the basic people's courts at the county level, rising to the intermediate people's courts at the city level, then to the higher people's courts at the provincial level, and finally, the supreme people's court at the national level. When a case is brought to court, it follows a structured process. The accused is presumed innocent until proven guilty, a principle firmly rooted in Chinese law. Once a case is filed, it undergoes investigation by the procuratorate. If the evidence warrants, it's then brought to court for trial. The judge, based on the presented evidence and the law, decides the outcome. In this system, capital punishment is a legal penalty. However, it's not handed out lightly. Only the most serious crimes warrant such a grave sentence. In fact, all death penalty cases are reviewed by the Supreme People's Court to ensure the punishment fits the crime. But it's important to remember, the legal system in China is not just about punishment. It's about maintaining social harmony and order, a concept deeply embedded in Chinese culture. The system is designed to deter crime, protect the innocent, and ensure justice is served. Now that we have a basic understanding of the Chinese judicial system, let's delve into the crimes that can lead to execution. In China, certain economic crimes can lead to capital punishment. Surprised? Let's delve deeper. In a country where maintaining a harmonious society is paramount, economic crimes are seen as a direct threat to this harmony. China's legal system is designed to deter and punish those who disrupt the economic balance. And when we say punish, we mean it. Some economic crimes can even lead to the ultimate penalty, execution. Let's take a look at some of these economic crimes. First up, corruption. In China, corruption isn't just frowned upon, it's seen as a severe offense. High-ranking officials who use their power for personal gain, accepting bribes in exchange for political favors, can find themselves facing the death penalty. It's a strong message from the Chinese government: corruption will not be tolerated. Next, we have bribery. Similar to corruption, bribery involves offering, giving, receiving, or soliciting something of value as a means to influence the actions of an individual in charge of a public or legal duty. In China, bribery is considered a grave offense, especially when it involves significant amounts of money or has a substantial impact on society. Then there's large-scale embezzlement. Embezzlement, the act of withholding assets for the purpose of theft, is taken very seriously. When the embezzled amount is enormous, and the impact is widespread, it can lead to the death penalty. This is because such actions can destabilize the economy and result in significant harm to the society. But why are these economic crimes considered so severe? Well, they undermine the trust people have in their government and institutions. They disrupt the economic balance and can lead to social unrest. On top of that, they can impede economic development and growth, which is a key focus for China. In essence, these economic crimes are seen as a significant threat to the social harmony and stability that China strives to maintain. The harsh penalties reflect the seriousness with which these crimes are viewed and serve as a deterrent to those who might be tempted to engage in such activities. So, economic crimes are taken very seriously in China. But what other offenses can lead to execution? Violent crimes, as in many countries, can lead to capital punishment in China. Moving on from economic crimes, let's delve into the realm of violent crimes. This category includes offenses such as murder, rape, and terrorism, all of which can result in the ultimate penalty in China: execution. Murder, for instance, is a crime punishable by death in China, as it is in many parts of the world. But it's not just any murder that earns this severe punishment. The courts consider factors like the brutality of the act and the number of victims. The death penalty is typically reserved for the most heinous cases, where the perpetrator has shown a clear disregard for human life. Rape, particularly aggravated rape, is another violent crime that can lead to capital punishment. In China, the severity of the punishment hinges on certain factors, much like murder. These factors include the use of violence causing severe injury or death to the victim, and instances where the crime is part of a larger pattern of criminal activity. Terrorism also falls under the umbrella of violent crimes punishable by death. China has a firm stance against terrorism, and those found guilty of planning or carrying out terrorist acts can face the death penalty. The aim here is not only to punish, but also to deter others from committing similar acts. However, it's important to note that the Chinese judicial system doesn't hand out the death penalty lightly for these crimes. There are strict procedures and reviews in place to ensure the punishment is proportionate to the crime. Despite the severity of these punishments, they serve a purpose: to maintain social order and to deter individuals from committing such grave offenses. Remember, these are not the only crimes punishable by death in China. The country has a wide range of capital offenses, covering various aspects of criminal activity. Violent crimes, understandably, carry heavy penalties, but China's capital punishment laws also extend to other areas. Drug-related crimes are another category where China has zero tolerance. Now this might be alarming to many, but let's dig a little deeper to understand why. In China, the production, trafficking, and sale of drugs are seen as particularly grave offenses. The country has a long history of battling drug-related issues, dating back to the Opium Wars in the mid-19th century. This historical context has hugely influenced the country's stringent stance against narcotics. When we talk about drug-related crimes that can lead to capital punishment, we're referring to significant quantities of drugs. For instance, trafficking over 50 grams of heroin or methamphetamine can lead to the death penalty. 50 grams may not seem like much, but in the realm of narcotics, it's substantial. What's important to note is that it's not just about the quantity. The Chinese authorities also consider the potential damage to society. For instance, if a drug crime results in severe harm to public health or social order, it could lead to an execution. The Chinese judicial system views these crimes as posing a direct threat to the fabric of their society, hence the harsh penalties. Moreover, the Chinese government believes that such strict measures act as a deterrent. They argue that the severe penalties discourage potential offenders, thus reducing the overall rate of drug-related crimes. However, these harsh punishments have been subject to international criticism. Human rights organizations argue that the death penalty is a violation of the right to life and is the ultimate cruel, inhuman, and degrading punishment. Despite this, China has remained steadfast in its approach, maintaining that it is a necessary measure to protect its citizens and society. So, while the rest of the world may grapple with the ethical implications of capital punishment for drug-related crimes, China stands firm on its stance. The country's history, its view of societal impact, and the perceived deterrent effect all contribute to its severe approach to drug crimes. China's tough stance on drug-related crimes can be shocking to some, but it's a part of their judicial system. The use of capital punishment in China is a topic that stirs debate worldwide. Throughout this video, we've delved into the complexities of the Chinese judicial system, highlighting the types of crimes that can lead to the ultimate penalty. Let's recap. Economic crimes, including corruption and bribery, can result in capital punishment in China. This underscores the country's commitment to maintaining a clean, fair, and just economic environment. Violent offenses, such as murder and aggravated assault, understandably warrant this severe punishment as well. The Chinese government takes a tough stance against drug-related crimes too, with drug trafficking and production often leading to execution. It's important to remember that our exploration today has been purely informational. Our aim was to provide a comprehensive overview of the subject matter, not to pass judgment or incite controversy. The death penalty is a sensitive issue, and its use varies greatly around the globe, reflecting different cultural, historical, and legal contexts. In understanding different legal systems, we gain insight into the values and principles that guide societies around the world. This knowledge can help us foster dialogue, promote empathy, and potentially contribute to global reforms. After all, to comprehend the world, we must first understand its various nuances. Understanding different legal systems around the world can be a step towards global awareness. Remember, knowledge is power.